In recent years, a series of unprecedented events and cultural shifts have raised alarm among Christians worldwide. The assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, a staunch advocate for religious freedom, has sparked intense discussions about the nature of persecution against Christians, particularly in the United States. While persecution against Christians is often associated with far-off lands, places where faith can lead to imprisonment, violence, or even death, the reality is that the situation for believers is becoming increasingly precarious at home as well. This article seeks to explore the implications of this assassination, the opening of what many view as end-times persecution for the Christian church, and the urgent call for prayer and action against such spiritual warfare. The landscape of persecution. Globally, Christians have faced persecution throughout history, but the current escalation is alarming. Reports from organizations like Open Doors and the Pew Research Center highlight that over 340 million Christians experience significant levels of persecution due to their faith. This reality includes events like attacks on churches, from bombings in Nigeria that target worshippers on religious holidays to attacks in places like Sri Lanka. Churches have become apparent symbols of resistance against growing tides of violence and persecution. Imprisonment and violence. Countries such as China and North Korea maintain some of the highest levels of persecution, with arrests, torture, and harsh penalties for believers and house church leaders. Discrimination and silencing. In Western nations, Christians increasingly face discrimination that ranges from the subtle to the overt, with a systemic sidelining of religious values in favor of secular ideologies. The cultural war and the influential figures. The recent assassination of Charlie Kirk stood as a grim reminder of the growing animosity towards conservative Christian viewpoints in the public sphere. Kirk's unyielding advocacy for traditional values and free speech made him a target, but his death resonated deeper than just a political statement. It opened a door to a wider conversation about the Christian faith's place within American society. As an influential figure in the realm of conservative Christianity, Kirk represented a significant challenge to the secular narrative. His assassination serves as a grim harbinger of the end times, suggesting that believers may face increased hostility, not only from radicals but also from the government and societal institutions that feel empowered to attack or silence Christian ideals. Persecution in the United States, a new reality. While persecution against Christians is most overt in foreign lands, it is essential to recognize the emerging reality of persecution within the United States. Several critical factors reveal a concerning trend. 1. Physical attacks. In 2023 alone, there were several violent attacks on Christians and their places of worship. From vandalism of churches to violent disruptions of services, these actions showcase an alarming shift among individuals and groups who claim to advocate for tolerance yet act violently against opposing beliefs. 2. Cancel culture. The rise of cancel culture has seen many Christians face backlash for holding to traditional beliefs. Public figures, athletes, and even average citizens have been ostracized, fired from jobs, or faced social media mobs for expressing their faith or traditional views. 3. Censorship. Social media platforms, while promoting inclusivity, often censor or shadow ban Christian viewpoints. As freedom of speech becomes increasingly potent, this silencing can lead to a collective fear about speaking out on important issues of faith. 4. Legislative challenges. In some states, there are active legislative attempts to undermine religious freedoms, presenting challenges for churches wishing to operate according to their beliefs. Mandates infringing on the rights of churches to discuss or uphold their beliefs are becoming a pressing concern. These factors highlight a troubling reality. Christians in the United States increasingly find themselves needing to confront hostility and protect their rights as believers. The spiritual war. The assassination of figures like Charlie Kirk may suggest a more extensive spiritual battle unfolding in society. Many believe that events like this signify not merely political strife but deeper spiritual attacks aimed at the Christian community. These events appear to open a spiritual door that could unleash further persecution if left unchecked. Spiritual warfare is not fully visible to the untrained eye, but it manifests in tangible ways. It's essential for Christians to understand the gravity of such incidents, recognizing that they reflect a broader alignment against faith-based principles. This spiritual battle calls for prayer and engagement from the body of Christ, so Christians must stand united in faith and diligence. Call to prayer. In response to the escalating persecution and spiritual warfare, Christians must engage in prayer and action. Here are several focal points for this call to prayer. 1. Pray for protection. For believers worldwide facing persecution, pray for divine protection and strength to endure in their faith. Many are at risk of violence simply for their beliefs. 2. Pray for Christian leaders. Pray for church leaders and evangelists who boldly proclaim the gospel amidst adversity. Their leadership is more crucial than ever, and those who speak out against injustices must be fortified in their mission. 3. Pray for unity. A fragmented church may be the enemy's greatest asset. Pray for unity within the body of Christ, breaking down denominational barriers and fostering collaboration among believers to stand firm against persecution. 4. Pray for our nation. As Christians navigate increased hostility, it's essential to pray for the United States as a whole. Pray that the nation returns to its foundational principles of religious freedom and courage, emboldening Christians to speak truth amid adversity. 5. Pray against spiritual strongholds. There are tangible spiritual forces at play, seeking to silence and hinder the work of the church. Christians should pray against these strongholds, asking God to bring clarity, righteousness, and healing to wounds scarred by animosity. Conclusion. The persecution of Christians symbolizes not only an immediate threat to believers but also the opening of a spiritual door that must be wisely guarded against. The assassination of Charlie Kirk has served as a wake-up call, sounding alarm bells for Christians to recognize the signs of the times in which we live. As dangerous and turbulent as this current period may be, it is also an opportune time for believers to engage deeply, reconnect with their faith, and stand firm against the tide of persecution. Through prayer, unity, and action, Christians can not only withstand persecution but also shine brightly as beacons of hope amidst growing darkness. This moment in history should galvanize the church, reminding believers that while they may face trials and tribulations, they are not alone. The need for vigilance and prayer is paramount, as Christians worldwide seek the strength, courage, and wisdom to continue their mission despite rising opposition. In the words of 1 Peter 5 verses 8-9, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Resist him, steadfast in the faith. May the church rise united in resistance to these adversities, praise against the onslaught of persecution, and remain steadfast in faith as history marches onward.
Hey there, everyone. This is Curtis Ray, the producer and publisher of Eternal Affairs Truth Media. I'd like to invite you to get a squeeze of Little Lemon Boy. Yeah, I said that right. Go to spaghetti.com. That's spaghetti with 3 eyes.com. I know it's a tricky one, so see the link in the description. And we'll see you on the next show, everyone, as well as Little Lemon Boy from spaghetti with 3 eyes.com.